Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live. I'm Elliot Fishman, and I'd like to first take this moment to wish everybody happy and healthy Thanksgiving, whether you celebrate it or not. At least you get off tomorrow, and some of you get off on Friday, and then many of you will go Saturday or Sunday to RSNA. And I've been going to RSNA for many years, and particularly those of you who are going for the first time, it's always like a madhouse, a mad circus, and people who are going more than that know the circus and get the routine down pat. You don't get as much accomplished as the RSNA as you think you might, in part because you run into so many people you know, which is probably the nicest part of RSNA. And so you can pick 2 points in space, and you could say how fast that you can walk from here to here, say 30 seconds. The RSNA might take you like 3 hours. There's a tunnel. Those who haven't been there don't know about the tunnel, but those you have know, and people going this direction and that direction, run into a lot of people. And the RSNA this year starts off with the opening session. Dick Eman, as the president, speaks, but more importantly, or equally important perhaps, is the keynote given by Elias Sahuni, who is chair at Hopkins, head of the NIH, and is head of Sanofi from the R&D perspective, and he should be giving a terrific talk as always. So we look forward to hearing his talk, and it's a great start to a great week. Now, I'm told that I'm going to read this because this is what Rachel told me. Follow me on Twitter at CTisus. I will be tweeting my schedule during RSNA. I'll be truthfully, I'll be walking around like a crazy person lost, but Rachel will make believe she's me, and she'll be tweeting where I am. So just to keep it straight. Anyway, should be a great meeting. So I just thought I would go through what I think you're going to see there. Not that I know anything. But so I'm sure the CT scanners, you'll probably see new scanners. We always see new scanners. I think what you saw last year and probably will continue this year is you see a lot more growth on the on the low end of scanners, making things automated where you need very minimal interaction with the technologists. Last year they showed us a new scanner, which they introduced this year at Siemens, where everything was done off an iPad equivalent. And I think between Siemens and GE, you're going to see a whole bunch of new scanners again. It's good bang for the bucks, that you get a cheaper scanner that has a lot of capability. I think you'll see a little bit improvement on the high end, but I think with the market being the way it is and the world being the way it is, I think companies are focusing more on the mid to low end rather than pushing, a scanner with 27,342 detectors. They may have to wait a couple of years for that. So I think that'll be kind of good. I think from the PACs, the workstations, you're going to see the same crap you saw last year, which is the same crap you saw the year before, and the same crap you saw the year before that. Crap is crap. The good news is this year, I think you're going to see NVIDIA is going to be there. Now, they don't make workstations. They make the things that go into workstations and make workstations go faster. But I know they will be pushing new technologies, which should be very exciting. So it's good to see the people who are at the front end of the world now showing up. I think year after year, you have the same companies, the Siemens, the GEs, the Philips, the Toshiba, TerraRecon, Carestream, yada, 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 basically pushing the same product, yada, yada, yada. Snooze City. This year, some of the big innovations. Instead of things being orange, they'll be green. Instead of the things that are green, they'll be yellow, and the things that are yellow will be blue. So that'll be the major developments in PACs. And we are looking, like everyone, for new PAC systems that actually work, that actually enhance our capabilities. And I have no idea if we can develop deep learning, how we're going to implement it in practice, because deep learning requires good workstations and the ability to integrate high technology into a workstation. Right now, the workstations where CT or MR scanners are 2017, 2018, 2019. The workstations, the PAC systems are really 1983, 1984, 1985. So there's a long way to go. Perhaps there'll be some new companies there showing new things. There are always new companies, but the innovation has been really slow. I'm sure that Epic is not going to be there because they're sitting home counting their money. They're not doing any development or anything. They're just kind of sitting around counting their money. By all those institutions that paid $1 billion to have them tell them what to do and to have all the doctors unhappy, to the point now You hire scribes to type what the doctor says, which was the point of going to electronic communication, where you didn't have to have a scribe. So now we're back to 1956, and Leave It to Beaver is the #1 show in the United States, and the Ozzie and Harriet show is #1. So if you like those old TV shows, you're going to like workstations. Deep learning, I think, is going to be big. There's going to be a lot of pieces and parts. Again, I mentioned NVIDIA, which is the source of all deep learning. But you're going to see a lot of companies. It's a company called Zebra, Mint. There's a number of different companies, and I think companies like Siemens and GE will also be showing off some of the things they're doing. I think it's very early in the game. We're showing some of the stuff we're doing as well. We have some scientific presentations, but it's early in the game. But I think you will see this year, they're going to have IBM Health there with Watson. Last year was a giant bore. My opinion is it'll be twice as boring this year as it was last year, and you'll be impressed by how little progress they made over the year, but perhaps I will be wrong. I guess Warren Buffett knew best when he sold most of his IBM stock. Now, I didn't have any IBM stock. I was smarter than Warren Buffett, at least that one time. But I don't think you're going to see incredible stuff there. But I think you will see probably a bunch of scientific exhibits will have stuff on deep learning. I think deep learning still, most of the people who will be showing a lot of hot air. But again, I think it's going to be the big buzzword at RSNA this year, artificial intelligence, DL. That should be somewhat interesting. Then the other thing I think you're going to see a lot of, because I've gotten a bunch of emails, is big group radiology is continuing. VRAD, companies like that. The groups, we talked about a group of 10 being big, then 30, then 50, then 100. Now it's 700, 800, and they're trying to recruit a bunch of people more, and groups are merging, and it's like that fish thing where one fish eats another fish, and I got these giant fish roaming around. But you're going to see, I think, a lot of that. I think a lot of those companies that recruit are going to be there. The market, if you're looking for a job, has never been better. I know our fellows this year who are terrific and have many, many opportunities for jobs. They're the group, and they reminded me that they're the group when they started radiology, so that's almost 6 years ago. People said to them, "Are you a crazy person? You go into radiology? There's going to be no jobs for you when you're finished." Well, the laugh was on everybody else who didn't go into radiology. But I think you're going to see a lot of this big group stuff taking hold at RSNA, and they seem to have booths and everything, so that'll be important. I think also you're going to see a lot of minimalism. What I mean is the companies, as I mentioned, are not developing high-end scanners, but they're trying to figure out how do you manage an environment where hospitals are cutting technologists, they're cutting FTEs, your support staff is less, there's less time for training, there's less time for teaching, there's less time for learning. So what you have to do is you got to dumb down the equipment. So you press a button and you say, okay, you press this button, and the computer calculates everything and gives you a perfect mammogram or a perfect CT, a perfect MR. I think we're going to the era really where the computers will control the computers. And the technologists may be along for the ride. Now, in many cases, that's not necessarily a bad thing. In some cases, it is a bad thing. But I think you're going to see more of that. So this minimalism, doing more with less, and all the administrators I'm sure will like that. And you'll see a lot of these things that just are getting by. Okay, you can do this and you can get by. And I think what a lot of groups are doing now, and a lot of institutions and hospitals, is this getting by. The pursuit of excellence, not so much. The pursuit of mediocrity, as Larry David would say, that's the pursuit where people are going. Till there's a fatwa on hospital administrators, that's not going to change. And the fatwa thing, you have to be paying attention to Larry David, and they're up to week 9 this week. There'll be 10 weeks. And many of you who look at our Facebook page, which is why you're there, you see a lot of these little snippets out from Larry David. So all wisdom. Now, I have to admit, many of the things he talks about, I spoke about 10 years ago. We're both from Brooklyn. We grew up about 1.5 miles apart. He's a billionaire. I'm reading films. What can I say? But then I also have, I do have a complaining index. So, a number of years ago, everyone was complaining. As soon as you ran into anybody, they would complain about everything and anything, that the world was coming to an end. So that would be maybe 4 or 5 years ago. The complaining index was a 10 over 10. Okay. Now, I think this year, in the last couple of years, I've noticed is that people are not, maybe not super happy on a lot of things, but I think they're becoming more realistic of what is really possible and what can be done and what will not be done. And I think the complaining index will be a little bit lower. I put the complaining index this year as a 3, but not a 5. That's 3. And I could be wrong. We'll see how much complaining there is at RSNA. I think the biggest complaints might be the length of the line for the Starbucks, which is always very long, or the lack of food. But this year, there's a new Marriott that opened. I always stay at the McCormick Hyatt. This year, I switched over to the Marriott because I need Marriott points more than Hyatt points because my daughter lives near Marriott, and I never use my Hyatt points. So I'm in the Marriott business. So there's a new hotel and attaches somehow or other. Doesn't make any sense to McCormick Place, and hopefully I won't have to go outside or anything, but it looks like it should be a nice hotel. Without advertising for Marriott here, but if Marriott wanted to give me a few extra points for advertising, at my Marriott number 001-426-973-482-867. That's not the real number. Marriott, when you're a Marriott member, there's only 9 numbers, not the 17 I gave you. But if they want to know, they know where to find me, and I'll take any extra points they have to give. So I think that those are kind of my main things at RSNA. Let me see if anyone has any questions. Let me see here. Kim Sung is leaving. Where's she going? I didn't know she was leaving. Who's Kim Sung? I have no idea. Well, I don't know who she is, but she's leaving. Goodbye, good luck. Okay? No, actually, she's one of our techs who's very good, and she's leaving Hopkins to go work for Siemens. I don't know what she's doing. I think she's working on the trains at Siemens. She's going to be driving a train. And then hi from B Mudge. Hello, B Mudge. Happy holidays. And let me see now. Happy Thanksgiving. We need some questions. Okay, I don't see any questions here. I see a lot of people with a lot of smiles, a couple laughs. We need some smiles. So let me tell you, if you have nothing to do Thanksgiving, what should you do? Don't watch the football games. It's kind of super boring. So Pixar has a new movie, Coco. I've not seen it, but I heard it's really good. So that's a good thing to do. And if you have HBO, you should watch the Larry David. 8 episodes have already been done. You can binge watch. I think number 9 and 10 in the next 2 weeks. But it's kind of super funny. So you could do that. You also can look at CTisus. We have a lot of good lectures we've posted. We're working actually on, this is the closure for us because coming from RSNA, we only have 1 month in the year. And actually, I finished yesterday all of the lectures for the coming year. We recorded the quiz already, so I did that. We just had 2. We have 2 new apps. How can I forget? We now have 14 apps on the Apple Store. This is a new world's record. We're making 14 times as much money as we did before. But we have 2 new apps that are going to be at RSNA. You're not supposed to see them until RSNA, but I can't tell you that if you went to the Apple Store and you typed in my name or you typed in CTisus, you're probably going to see them there now. Take my word on it. And so there's one app, which is, last year we had Pancreas. We had the Pancreas app looking at, analyzing pancreatic masses. And this time we have an adrenal app, which is really terrific. It's version 1.0. I think it's going to be much better at 2.0, but I think 1.0 is going to be really good. So I think look at that app. Then we have an app on the pancreas. We already are working hard on other apps, but we won the last 2 years of Ad Mini, the best app, and so we're trying to win 3 years in a row. So that's our goal. So it's too early to vote, but right now take a look at the apps. I think the apps are going to, be good. John Biacchino, any chance for Android apps? The answer is no. How many times do I got to tell you? Buy an Apple phone. I have Apple stock. I don't have Android stock. Okay? I don't know. What stock is an Android stock? I buy Apple stock. But we're not doing Androids unless someone made us an offer we couldn't refuse. Because I have a lot of friends at Apple, and they would disown me because Apple friendship goes away very quickly if you develop Android apps. So we're working. We have this really good app under development on the lumbar spine. And the only thing slowing that app down is me. So we will actually work on that app at the beginning of 2018. But these 2 new apps came out really well. So there's 14 apps. Those of you who've not looked at our apps lately, many of the apps, like, for example, the lecture, the quiz, the pearls, we update twice a year. So everything will be updated by early 2018. So we'll be working on that at the end of the year. And then we're working on, whatever people think is interesting. We will, anyone have any good ideas? We always welcome good ideas. For us, it's always a challenge coming up with new things. We are constantly trying to be ahead of the game, whether it's something like Facebook Live, and there's an article in JACR about it that we wrote. And we're looking at new ways of doing things. I think technology is terrific. I think we don't develop things for technology's sake, but we are big on taking advantage of technology. So with that, I think my time is up. So everyone is going to RSNA. Hopefully we'll see you in the hallway there. Just wave. Don't stop us. Just wave. And anyone who's not going to RSNA, we hope you work hard because everyone else went, and so you're going to have to work hard to get the work done. But more importantly, I hope everyone has a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And whether, as I said, as you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, I remember the old days, Thanksgiving, the only place open was 7-Eleven. And I remember I had no money, and I forgot to do anything. You had nothing. But now, all the department stores are open, all the restaurants are open. So even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, even if you don't have to deal with a bunch of relatives that you don't want to see, and you wonder, why am I around so many damn relatives I don't particularly like, go to wherever you want to go. McDonald's, or you can go to a Capitol Grill, or you can go anything in between. So with that, have a great day, and goodbye to you all. See you later. Bye.